Hey. What's up, y'all? Happy Friday, November the 21st. We're back for another episode of BizBuzz Live. We're live here on LinkedIn, live here on YouTube. Hey, for today's show, I'm going to be a little selfish, but it's going to benefit all of us, okay? I'm going to be a little selfish because this is something that I've been dealing with recently that I really just want to talk through. And I think a lot of you will get value from this, especially the nature of this show. But like I said, I'm going to be a little bit selfish today about the topic because we're going to dive into what every business needs to be successful. So just stick around. Yes. Welcome y'all to another episode of BizBuzz Live. I'm your host, Chris Muzan, helping you through all things finance, all things money. I'm your financial therapist, financial strategist, making sure that you are good. Again, hope everyone's having a great Friday thus far. I always start this show with the premise of the show. If this is your first time checking in on the show, first off, welcome. Thanks for tapping in. I really believe this is going to provide you a ton of value. But here's who it provides value for people that are looking to move the needle in their financial life. You're looking to move the needle in your financial foundation, or even just building out more of your net worth. That's who this is for. If you are not really thinking about bringing in more income or changing your financial life in any way, which I know probably isn't the case if you're here on LinkedIn or YouTube, maybe YouTube people, but not so much on LinkedIn. If you want to stay the same, this might not be for you. But if you want to change and you want to grow and you want to get better financially, so you're not just in this hamster wheel constantly stressing about money all the time, like that's what the show is for. The thesis, y'all, of the show is inevitably, I've been in the financial space going on 13 years now. And inevitably, when I sit down with people, whether we're talking about their debt or talking about their insurance or talking about their retirement or whatever, it always comes back to a cash flow conversation, which is how much is coming in and where is it coming from? And then where is it being spent? Okay. Again, from a financial industry perspective, I think we've focused a lot on where the money goes, meaning where does it flow out to, right? Where does it flow out to? I think there's budgeting apps and tools and all the things. Listen, 50% of people are not good at that part either, but at least I think we've talked about it enough that people can get the gist of what to do on that side. Where I think we do not talk enough is how to earn money, how to bring it in. What is the number one, the most powerful thing in one's financial life is their ability to earn money. Many people have grown up with the same thought of go to school, get good grades, get some higher education, land a job, let that job pay for your lifestyle, and you'll get there. Well, that's not helping in 2025, 2026. If just look around. Again, I am not the anti-job only entrepreneur guy. I'm just practical about what's happening in our society right now. Last article, maybe we clipped this, by the way. Article just popped up that said Verizon is about to lay off 13,000 people. This whole year has been nothing but layoffs. Quarter one was a bunch of layoffs in the government space. Quarter two was in, tech and white collar jobs. And then we see it in retail. And then just this whole year has been nothing but layoffs. Regardless of what the jobs report and all the things say. You guys have been feeling it. So if the strategy of earning money is still go to school, get good grades, get higher education, get some more higher education, get a master's, a PhD, just so I can go get a job to make $80,000 a year where they'll potentially lay me off in 10 years, It's just not working. It's not the formula. So we have to figure out other ways to go and make money. Again, if you want to build your life in the corporate world, you got to learn how to play the corporate game. Right. I've been hearing a lot of people here on LinkedIn talk about it, people on TikTok talking about it, this portfolio career, right? A portfolio career, something that we're switching into. Maybe we set another time and talk about that, but that's just learning how to play the corporate America game, right? Where you've had many different experiences and different roles, and you've been able to do things for those companies that makes you look favorable to the next company. They might not think about keeping you there for 25 years or 35 years like the previous generation, but at least you can help them in these next 3 to 5 before you move on to your next. So that's a game to play. Then people are jumping out and becoming self-employed in the gig economy, not really knowing what to do, working harder than they need to, taking all their time driving and doing all these things. So that's, again, another strategy, but I don't know that that strategy works fully. The final side is, yes, becoming the entrepreneur, becoming the business owner. Small businesses, small and medium-sized businesses are the backbone of America. Why? Because they create jobs. They create jobs. Most small and medium-sized business owners, this might change, right, with AI and all the stuff, but like they employ people that are local. It builds up a local economy. If you're in a city that is trying to build up, again, you're in a smaller rural town or something like that. Well, if everyone works for the landscaper, the landscaping company, if everyone works for the farm, if everyone works for whatever the local business is, that builds the economy in that in that city, and that's how people start to, again, make money. I want to talk today specifically about the business owner side of things, the entrepreneur side of things, and what successful business owners, what successful businesses need. The reason why I want to talk about this and why I told you in the beginning of today I was going to be a little bit selfish is because I'm looking for people. I'm constantly on the lookout for people. I'm looking for people in all the endeavors. I have a bunch of endeavors that are happening in the business world, and we need people. Here's something, though, that I learned, that if you're listening and you don't want to just be a worker, right? You don't just want to be the laborer at Amazon or the person that works the retail job, like as an hourly employee. You're a manager. You're somebody that like actually enjoys working, enjoys executing, enjoys seeing the needle move in their company or whatever the case is. Like, that's who I'm talking to. You got to understand that there's a place for you in lots of businesses. There's a book that I read that I'm going to reference. It's called The E-Myth. The E-Myth. It's by Michael Gerber. It's a great book. The E-Myth stands for the entrepreneurial myth, right? The entrepreneurial myth. And what it is when we step into this world of entrepreneurship, a lot of times, we don't really know what we're doing. We're just like kind of self-employed. We figure out normally how to do something, and then we go do that thing, and then we think we're a business owner. Example, I know how to do hair, so I'm going to now open a salon doing hair because I know how to do hair. It does not mean that that salon will be successful. It doesn't mean that you know how to run a salon business. It just means you know how to do hair and you have a place to do hair. That's how most people get started in entrepreneurship. I have this skill because I've been a worker my whole life. I have this skill. Now I'm going to turn this skill into some form of an income for myself, right? In the book, The E-Myth, Michael Gerber says there's 3 things that are needed. 3 things that are needed to build a successful business. And it's really 3 types of people. 3 types of people. Now, it could all come in one person. Typically, it's not. But there's 3 types of people, okay? Number 1 is the technician, okay? Number 1 is the technician. Matter of fact, I'll put that on the screen, technician. Let me make sure I spelled that correctly. I did spell it correctly, so we're going to put it on the screen. The technician. That is the first person that's needed in every business, meaning they're the person that knows how to do the thing of the business. It's the hairdresser, it's the barber, it's the cook, the chef, it's the whatever, right? The person that does the work of the business. If it's a landscaping business, the person that knows how to cut the grass. If it's a restaurant, the person that knows how to cook the food. That is needed in every business. If it's a farm business, the person that knows agriculture, that actually does the farming, the planting, all those things. There needs to be a healthy knowledge. You have to start a business with someone that knows the work of the business. This is pretty straightforward. Most people know that because this is where most people start. Like I said, you have a skill set, an ability, something along those lines. And then what do? You just make a business out of it, right? That's all. You make a business out of it. But that's just the first piece. Okay? That's the first piece that needs to be a part of a business. The second piece is the manager. It's the manager. Sorry, guys. Got you. Second one is the manager. Who's the manager? The manager is the person that oversees operations, that executes, that puts in systems, that understands how the business needs to run, how it needs to be operated, how it needs to run, what people are needed, what things needs to be put in place, what systems, what back office, front office systems. Like the manager, the person that has what we call an S type, right? They are very structured. They are a structured person. They can understand SOPs and they can put those types of things in place. Think of your people in corporate America that are your HRs, that are your upper management that's just really good at the reporting and knowing where the reports are and sending you, right? Like the structure of a business. Again, example, the hairdresser is the technician, but normally you need an office manager to follow up on phone calls, make sure that the person that got their hair done is satisfied and send you a referral, give them a discount. Like that's the manager. In the arts world, you have artists, singers, musicians, athletes, and they have managers. The athlete does the thing on the field. The musician does the thing. They're the technician. They do their thing. But then they have to get a manager to handle their business deals, to talk, right, to make sure that they show up on time, to schedule their bus, to schedule their plane, right? Like that's necessary. The manager is the second part, the second role that's needed. The third role, per Michael Gerber in the book, is the entrepreneur. The person that is controlling, guiding the ship. The person at the helm of the ship that says, ooh, I see that iceberg up there. Let's make a left. Ooh, I see that we need to talk to this group of people. I can go get money from this group of people. Here's the idea, the visionary, the person that sees all of the stuff, the vision of the business, of the company, of where it goes. That person is needed. So I just gave you all three: the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. When someone starts a business, typically they are one, maybe two of those, maybe, but typically they're one. And like I said, normally they're the technician. They know the work of the business, but they probably aren't very organized or structured or put systems in place. Here's the other side. For someone that's just that tries to start a business, they never get the work done because they're not good at the work. So they just put all these systems. I got my LLC. I got this. I got all these papers and all these things around because I'm pretty structured and organized, but I'm actually not a good technician at this. I just like organizing and putting things together because I'm structured. Many people start businesses that way. The reason why I told you that this is a selfish conversation for me is because I've learned over time that I'm the entrepreneur. I have the visions. I have the ideas. I put them all together. but I'm not always the technician and I'm not the manager. I know my role. I have an idea for lots of ways to build wealth, lots of ways to be able to grow businesses, to serve the needs in all different industries. I'll give you an example. You could probably scroll back, I don't know, a couple years back, maybe here on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, scroll back. I was at one point looking for someone in the agriculture space because I have an idea for a vertical farming business. I don't come from agriculture. I'm not the technician. I don't have a green thumb. I don't plant things. I don't play in the garden. I don't do any of that. I'm not a technician there. I have no idea. I wouldn't know how to organize that business necessarily, but I got a vision for it that will make multi-millions of dollars and change the way that we're able to nourish our families and nourish our kids and all the things. I'm the entrepreneur. I got the vision. I can see it. No one else might be able to see it. I can see it. But what do I need to make that vision come to life? This is what Michael Gerber is saying. What do I need? I need a technician and I need a manager. Like I need someone that sees the vision and says, "Ooh, I see that. Let me execute for you. Let me put that in place. Let me put the systems in place. Let me get the right technician on that knows everything about horticulture and agriculture and, hydroponics and aquaponics and indoor growing and lighting and LEDs and let me get that person in place too, because I don't know about it." Well, most people do because they're not really entrepreneurial. They're more technician. They would think if I want to start a farming, but I got to go learn farming. I got to go to school for farming. I got to go back, get my education, take 4 years, take 3 years to learn all this stuff so I can start the business. That's not how businesses run. Let me give you some examples you might know of well. Starbucks. If you ever read the story of Howard Schultz in Starbucks, he'll tell you, it says it in the book, Howard Schultz had this idea about coffee. He would go to all these coffee shops and taste all the coffee and blab about coffee all day. He was part technician, but really just part I love this thing, kind of visionary guy. He had to find his partner. His name was Orrin, last name was Orrin. I forget his first name. Orrin came in and partnered with Howard Schultz and says, "Hey, I hear you're blabbing about all this coffee stuff. We got to actually put some things in place. We got to put some systems in place to get the coffee, to build out a brand, to design the inside, to design what it feels like." And yeah, Howard Schultz had this vision, but Orrin came in and executed the vision for him. He was the manager. If there was no Orrin to Howard Schultz, we would not have Starbucks. Howard Schultz will tell you this himself. He's like, I would just be blabbing about coffee all the time and just have this passion for coffee, but we would never have Starbucks if it wasn't for Orrin. Another story, Steve Jobs of Apple. We all know Steve Jobs. You're using your Apple products currently as we speak right now. Well, Steve Jobs was a visionary. He had a vision for what technology, the company could do in this space until he had Steve Wozniak, come in and be like, I'll help you execute on these things. The team of them, him being the visionary, Jobs, Wozniak being the manager, the executor, the person that put it all in place. That's how we know Apple. This is how big companies are run. This is how any good company is run. Here's why I'm telling you guys this, is because if you want to focus on making money moving forward, good old saying, get in where you fit in. Get in where you fit in. There's so many more people that would be successful if they just worked with the entrepreneur. Don't go give your talent to the big company. That's why you're getting burnt out. You're giving your talent to the big, safe, secure, which we're learning is not safe and secure, company. Rather than give it to Verizon and Apple and Amazon and the big companies that are trying to downsize anyway, Go find the entrepreneur, network with the entrepreneur, reach out here on LinkedIn to the entrepreneur that's building something you believe in. And you know your skill is you're an organizer, you're an executor. You like to execute on the ideas. You don't need to take all the risk and have all the vision. You just want to come in and do these things. In 2025, 2026, and moving forward, this is where I see there being a huge opportunity if you get in where you fit in. If you are a great technician at something, you need to find the entrepreneur and the manager that can help you grow and put your talent in front of people. You might not be able to do that. You might just have the skill of your technical work, which is needed. But you need to partner with, you need to get around the people that are not like you, that are that they're the manager or they're the entrepreneur. I stuttered because I was thinking not like us. They're not like us, right? The whole song, like they're not like you, for real. They're not like you, and your skills complement so that you can build a business. Getting in where you fit in 2026 is going to be important. You keep giving away all your stuff, all your information, all your talent to this company that doesn't care about you. Let me tell you something about the entrepreneur. The right entrepreneur that's building something, they will care about you. Small business, small and medium-sized businesses, people with companies that have less than 50 employees, they care about you, the individual that comes in. The problem is you can't hide. Right? You can't hide in a small business. If you're the person that does this and this is all on you, there's no, oh, I'm sick these days, or I can't do this, or like the way you hide at a big company to be like, oh, I just kind of skate through and just get my work done. You can't do that when you're valuable to the team. But again, a lot of you out there are trying to be valuable to a big company, and it's not playing out. It's not paying off the way you want to. I am the entrepreneur. I have ideas that can put people to work. But what we're finding is some people just don't want to work. But if you are the ones that want to work, you like executing, there's huge upside for you being the number 2, number 3, number 5 person at a company. I gave one of my good friends this advice 5 years ago. 5, 6 years ago. Yeah, probably at this time, right? 4 to 6 years ago. He came from the corporate side of things. He came from big, right, enterprise, big company. And he was like, man, I'm tired of this like big company, slow policy management, But we had a podcast where we talked about being an intrapreneur. That word used to be real popular 4 or 5 years ago. Not the entrepreneur, but the intrapreneur, the person that is inside of the company that operates it like they're an entrepreneur. You're inside of a company, but you operate inside of your company like your job is to like make things better, create new titles for yourself, go above and beyond, do more than what your title says you can do, like actively care about the growth of the business. He to himself was like, I'm an intrapreneur. I know I'm just getting a paycheck, but like I'm here and I'm making things better. And this is moving the needle. I said, hey, for all of you intrapreneurs, you need to go work with an entrepreneur. I told him this advice. I was like, you need to go find someone that runs a company, that's the owner of the company, and you become their number 2, become their main person, become their right-hand man, and do your entrepreneur work for that small business owner, for that owner. And your upside is huge because that's what every entrepreneur is looking for. He did that and it paid out. It paid off for him. He went in, he helped that owner build his business a little bit more, take over day-to-day reins so the entrepreneur could focus on what's up ahead, which is the sale of this business. How do we exit this thing? How do we package it? How do I get in front of the right people? Instead of him doing the day-to-day, he now found the manager to execute so he could go be the entrepreneur. A couple years later, they sell the business. My buddy gets a nice check from being the number two, and he moves on. That is the opportunity moving forward for any of you that are the manager or are the technician. You don't have to go start your own thing. There's plenty of entrepreneurs like myself that have ideas about industries that I'm not a technician for and that I'm not actually able to oversee in the way, but I have the vision. People like me are out here looking for people like you that work really hard and enjoy executing. You're the entrepreneur. You go above and beyond. You don't just skate by. You want to make a difference. You want to grow in your company. You want to make your bosses look good. Like, you want to do those things, but you're in some hamster wheel, some big cog, and it's not allowing you to do that. You got to go find the entrepreneur. But 2026 is going to be about you getting in where you fit in. Know yourself. Know what your talent is. If you're if you got great food, you chef it up like crazy, you should probably find the entrepreneur or the manager that can then get your food out to people, and you just stay in the kitchen. Ask anybody that runs a restaurant why they started. They started because they were good at the food. Now the business takes over, and now it's not about the food anymore. They're looking at labor cost and food cost and P&Ls, and they got to do marketing, and they got to get out and all the stuff. And they don't want to do that. They just want to be in the kitchen and cook. That's perfectly fine. If you get in where you fit in, you go find the entrepreneur, you all partner together, and you build something amazing. That's what I see happening over these next 5 years or so, specifically in 2026. As major companies start laying off, you're right. Most of you aren't equipped to be the entrepreneur yet. You really aren't. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time to learn what you need to learn to be a good entrepreneur. Maybe that's not you. Maybe you don't have the wherewithal to take on all the risk and find the right people. You're not great in leadership, right? You're not great in recruiting. You're not great in leadership. That might not be your thing. You might just be a really good manager. For all you consultants that are out there, maybe you should think about working with just one entrepreneur instead of just being self-employed and consulting to these firms. Again, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But many consultants have the structure mindset, and they like to execute. They just execute in small windows for different people. Well, what if you took that and just got next to an entrepreneur that is designing and developing something that you believe in and just execute it for them? Just execute for them. They got less than 50 employees. You're going to be super important to them, which means you're going to make a lot of money with them if you do what you say and they do what they say. If you get good technicians, you have good managers, and then you have a competent entrepreneur that not only has the right idea, but also has the wherewithal and the grit to be an entrepreneur, then you need to be around them and give your services to them and stop giving it to big companies. I'm saying this so that you can go make more money. You want to earn more money? We got to get away from some of the traditional ways we thought about it. Small business is going to get a revitalization in this country in the next 5 to 10 years because big companies are going to keep laying off people. It's not going to get better. We watched this the whole year, y'all. The whole year they've been laying off people from every segment, every industry, every sector. I mean, right? Everywhere. It's going to hit your sector sooner or later. The way that you shield yourself from that is to get in where you fit in. What's your talent? What's your skill? Every business needs the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. If you believe you're the entrepreneur, that means you better be good at building leaders, getting the right people on your team, relationship building, all that stuff. The who, not how theory. That's what makes a good entrepreneur, is the who, not how. I don't need to know how to do all this stuff. I just need to know who knows this stuff so I can bring them on. That's, if you don't have that yet, if you are still in the process of trying to do it all, you're in a technician mindset. You're trying to do all of the things. That's not the way you build a business. But if that's still how you think, you can shift your thinking, take you a little time, or you can just lean into being a technician. If you're a manager, if you like executing, if you're the entrepreneur in your company, in your big company, but you do all the extra work, you're on time to all your meetings, you got all your systems laid out, you know the Slack channel and all the things, you got all the reporting, you keep people in place, you step in when you need to step in. You're a manager, you're an operator, you're an executor. You're just doing it for a company that potentially will lay you off one day. That skill, though, is still precious because the technician doesn't have it and the entrepreneur might not have it, but you have it. And you're steady and you show up and you're on time and you're dependable and you're accountable, right? Like that's the trait. That's the trait my buddy has, right? He shows up, he's dependable, he has integrity, he's going to do it for himself, for right his right, like what he believes he should do. He's going to do the right thing. He's going to make sure, like, that quality every entrepreneur is looking for, to the point my buddy is now around other entrepreneurs and around other CEOs, and they constantly tell him, man, I wish I had someone like you working for me. Man, I wish I had someone like you working for me, because that's what we need. So there's a whole generation of people that don't want to work. I get it. You probably just stay at the job. We need to figure out other ways for you to go make money, make your little side hustle. But those of you, again, I'm talking to people like in corporate America, in big companies. You've been there 10, 12 years, but you know it's not going to last. But you have the skill sets. You need to start shaking hands here on LinkedIn. You need to start networking. Shoot me a message. I'm looking for tons of people that can execute on the visions that are there. You just got to have a vision that makes sense, and then you got to have integrity and show up and do the best of your ability in that role. That's how you build major companies, y'all. I told you I was going to take a little time to be selfish today because I'm looking for people, man. That's been the struggle. I got my hands in a bunch of things right now that are going to help a lot of people. They can help a lot of people. But I'm just one person. Sure, I'm using a lot of AI and AI tools, so I don't need as many people. But I still need people. I need people that get behind it and are willing to execute on it. It's not your vision necessarily. It's you are a part of a vision. And when you become a part of something and you take ownership in that, you still do good work. What I'm telling you is the payoff to that is a lot greater than working at that big corporate firm, that big corporate company that's potentially going to lay you off in the next 5 years anyway. And now you're going to be scrambling to go back and figure out what else you can do. Let's not let that happen, because we got to go build our financial foundation. It starts with your cash flow. It starts with how you think about earning money. Today was just another time that I wanted to share with you how you can get in where you fit in to go make more money. If you are a great technician, even if you're a great technician, like I said, maybe don't start the business, maybe network and find people that would want to start that business with you and be like, oh yeah, I see that. Build out a vision and you be the technician. You don't got to get into the business side. You don't got to do the financials. You don't got to put together the systems. You do what you're good at and let the manager and entrepreneur build the team around you to be successful. This is how business works. This is how you learn to earn more money. Don't just stick with the go to school, get good grades, get a degree, get a higher degree, get a third degree and a fourth degree, and then you think you'll make money. It's not where we're living in 2026. We got to go do things differently. But I'm telling you, your skill sets are needed. Your skill sets are needed. If you get around the right entrepreneur, it's needed. I'll leave you this last thing because I hear somebody out there saying, well, that's not safe, right? What if the business fails? What if you get laid off? Which side? Would you rather work in something where your skills are appreciated, where you're valued, where you're contributing, and the upside is huge, right? That entrepreneur sells that company. You get a piece of that company. All of a sudden, that's a 6-figure check for you. That job, you have no upside to that. You're not getting a 6-figure check because you did your job well. You might get a little holiday $250 bonus. So if it's fear that holds you back from that side, Let's not be scared of that, because you're more vulnerable with the big company than you are with the entrepreneur that you trust and believe in and believe their vision. But we got to go make some differences, y'all. Next Friday's Black Friday. I'm not shopping, so I'll be here with y'all. Hope you're not shopping either if you're trying to get your finances in order. Because remember, we got to control those expenses. Just because something's on sale, right? If you see something that used to cost $100 that now costs $75, you didn't save $25. You spent $75. I'll leave you with that, and I'll see you guys next week on Black Friday. Peace.